Kickoff is finally here. These are my best prize picks plays of the weekend of week 1 of the 2024 college football season. Hello, everyone. I'm Chris Phillips of SEC Unfiltered. Appreciate each and every single one of you tuning in. Make sure you like, subscribe, turn notifications. Check us out via podcast, wherever you get your podcast. You can also find us across all social media platforms, as well as our website, secunfiltered.com. We're brought to you by our friends over at PrizePicks. Guys, go to PrizePicks.com. Use promo code SECU at sign up to get $50 instantly when you play your first $5 or more lineup. Again, guys, that's PrizePicks.com. Promo code SECU to get your $50 bonus today. Week 1 of the 2024 college football season is finally here, and these are my best PrizePicks plays of week 1. That being said, we pull up each of my selections. It's a jam-packed board this week. And like I mentioned, guys, of course, PrizePicks is a proud sponsor and business partner of SEC Unfiltered, proud partner of the SEC Unfiltered Tour, which is going to take us around the SEC this season, starting this weekend in Gainesville, Florida, for the Florida-Miami game. And a promo they've got going on opening weekend, guys. How kind of our friends over at PrizePicks. We start with the Jalen Milroe free square. Guys, I cannot emphasize this enough. This is literally a gimme. This is an easy winner. If Jalen Milroe throws for 1, yes, 1, not 100, not 11, 1 yard or more, then you win this play. So a free square. So we're throwing this one on the best plays of the week. It's a no-brainer. Put this one in every single one of your lineups. So Jalen Milroe over half a passing yard. I know Western Kentucky's had some success over the years. I don't think they've had that much success where they're going to slow down Jalen Milroe to that point. So the over half passing yards, need I say more? Alabama offensively going to have a really, really big day in Kalen DeBoer's debut. Guys, I then go to Georgia against Clemson. Now, this one has the potential to be a little bit lower scoring. I could see this being a bit of a rock fight. However, Trevor Etienne probably not playing in this game due to suspension. I do think Carson Beck and the Georgia Bulldogs, Mike Bobo, they're going to air this thing out. They're going to use the passing game, the short passing game, as sort of a substitute to the running game, if you will, at times. I think Dylan Bell is a guy on Georgia that we have not been talking about enough, right? Thomas gets kicked off the team. Everyone's expecting Dominic Lovett to be the new number 1 option with Brock Bowers and Ladd McConkey gone. Dylan Bell is sort of that Swiss Army knife for this Georgia offense that can do a little bit of everything. Guys, his over-under receiving yard total, 38.5. Hammer the over here. Hammer the over 38.5. Dylan Bell is going to be a big part of this offense, not just in this game, but all season long. I think the folks at PrizePicks are underestimating that. I think this is great value. Over 38.5. Be sure to include this one in your lineups. This one is a no-brainer. We go to that Florida-Miami game. Guys, I was just mentioning again, yours truly, we're getting in Gainesville on Friday. Going to be in the stadium on Saturday. Cannot freaking wait to watch the Gators and Hurricanes do battle. And the top target for Graham Mertz is going to be Trey Wilson, right? Sliding in. Ricky Pearsall's now gone. Who's going to be wide receiver 1? You know it's going to be Trey Wilson. He is going to be their guy. If Florida is going to win this football game, they are going to need Trey Wilson to ball out early and often. And if you've been paying attention, I have picked Florida to win this football game. And I think Trey Wilson's going to be a big part of the reason why. A gettable Miami secondary. That is where their questions are, right? Florida's got to give Graham Mertz time to operate. But if they can, and I think they will just enough, that secondary can be taken advantage of. I think you're going to be able to see Graham Mertz, right? They've been hearing all offseason. He's Mr. Charlie check down. He's dink and duck. I think you're going to see Graham Mertz hit a couple big plays in the passing game down the field to Trey Wilson. His total, guys, receiving yards total, 72.5 receiving yards. That might feel somewhat steep, but I see a 100-yard game incoming for Trey Wilson. I would not be surprised, guys, he gets 6 or 7 catches in this game, if not more. Like, I think they're going to feed him constantly. I think they're going to go to him. Trey Wilson, over 72.5 receiving yards. Lock that in. Guys, let's go to Virginia Tech and Vanderbilt in Nashville. And I want to go specifically to Cedric Alexander, the running back for the Commodores. He faces a tall task in that Virginia Tech defense, guys. One of the best defensive fronts in the ACC. Virginia Tech, very veteran ball club, right? Veteran team. One of the favorites in the ACC to make some noise and do some big things. And, you know, what is Vanderbilt, right? Questions on the offensive line. They never could get any sort of running game going last year. You now bring in Diego Pavia and a brand new offensive scheme and an offensive system. I'm excited to see what Diego Pavia can do, but I don't think Vandy's going to be able to do a lot in the running game, specifically with Cedric Alexander. I think what they get in the running game is going to come from the legs of Pavia. Could that open some stuff up? Sure. And I know this number is low. Total rushing yards, 34.5 for Cedric Alexander. But I got to go under, guys. I think Virginia Tech's going to win the line of scrimmage. I think they're going to run away with this game. I think Vanderbilt is going to get to a point where they have to pass, which is going to limit carries for Cedric Alexander. And I like that Virginia Tech defense. So, Cedric Alexander of Vanderbilt, give me the under 34.5. It'll be more Diego Pavia running the football than it will be Cedric, because, again, I think Virginia Tech is just going to be too lethal up front, and I think Vandy will have no answer. Guys, let's go to the Sunday night game. We're kind of jumping around here. LSU taking on USC in Las Vegas. Guys, one of the biggest mismatches of the weekend is taking place in this game. That being LSU's big burly offensive line. You could argue the best offensive line in college football, led by gentlemen such as Will Campbell and Emory Jones, facing off against a USC defensive line that, guys, is just undermanned. They just don't have the bodies. They don't have the size. They don't have the physicality necessary to compete, not just win, but compete in a matchup like this. You got Barry Alexander, but outside of that, I just don't think they match up. And you're telling me, guys, and this is an LSU team, by the way, I think is going to run the football. It's going to be more of a traditional running game, much more of that than what we saw last year, where it was just Jaden Daniels being Superman every week. Caleb Jackson, a guy that LSU folks have compared to Leonard Fournette and Nick Chubb and some of the best running backs in the SEC we've seen. His total rushing yards, guys, is 49.5. 49, that's stealing. PrizePicks, shame on you. Thank you, but shame on you to my friends at PrizePicks. You are going to learn today about Caleb Jackson, the LSU running game, guys. There's going to be explosive plays in this game. I think it's going to come from the running game for LSU. I think they're going to push USC around. They're going to manhandle them in the trenches. Caleb Jackson, over 49.5 rushing yards, guys. Hammer this one. I mean, this is literally free money. And then finally, guys, the Saturday night matchup, the one we're all looking forward to, Texas A&M hosting the Notre Dame Fighting Irish at Kyle Field. Going to be a really competitive game. Aggies are a favorite in this game, but we're going specifically to A&M quarterback Connor Wigman. Passing yard total, 227.5 passing yards. And guys, you look at Notre Dame defensively, one of the best in college football last year, right? You look at that secondary with guys like Benjamin Morrison, one of the best cornerbacks in college football. I think Texas A&M can be potent offensively this year, but it is game one of year one of everything being brand new. Colin Klein at OC, Mike Elko at head coach. I don't think either team, guys, is going to have some crazy aggressive, wide open offensive attack where they're attacking down the field. I think this is going to be kind of like a pair of heavyweight fighters, just sort of feeling each other out. I don't think you're going to see anybody try to throw any crazy haymakers. You're going to see both teams kind of just playing defense, feeling each other out. Maybe if there's that opportunity to land that big right hook, you see one of them go in. But I think mostly throughout this game, Just pair of heavyweight fighters, just kind of waiting it out. So what I think that's going to spell is defenses are going to win the day. So Connor Wigman under 227.5 passing yards, not because I don't think he's capable of more, not because I don't think that receiver room isn't capable of more, but Notre Dame's really salty on defense, really good secondary. You could argue it's the strength of that defense, really salty in that department. And again, I think this is going to be a lower scoring game. I think it's a pair of heavyweight fighters feeling each other out. I don't think Connor Wigman, I don't think they're going to be throwing it all over the yard. I think they're going to want to run the football with Le'Veon Moss and some of those other guys. Under 227.5 for Connor Wigman in that game against Notre Dame. So guys, my PrizePicks plays of week 1, and my goodness, I feel so damn good about these. We're going 6-0. I've got Alabama quarterback Jalen Milroe over the half passing yard against Western Kentucky. Guys, this is your free square. This is the gimme. If you don't take advantage of this one, you just don't like free money. Georgia's Dylan Bell against the Clemson Tigers. I've got him over 38.5 receiving yards. Florida's Trey Wilson against Miami. I've got him over 72.5 receiving yards. Vanderbilt's Cedric Alexander against Virginia Tech. I've got him under 34.5 rushing yards. LSU's Caleb Jackson against USC. I've got him over 49.5 rushing yards. And finally, Texas A&M's Connor Wigman against Notre Dame. I've got him under 227.5 passing yards. Guys, what are some of your favorite props, some of your favorite plays with our friends over at PrizePicks in week 1 of the 2024 college football season? Guys, that's going to do it all for me. Appreciate each and every single one of you tuning in. Make sure you like, subscribe, turn notifications. Check us out via podcast, wherever you get those as well. You can also find us across all social media platforms as well as our website, SECUnfiltered.com. Until next time, guys, I'm Chris Phillips of SEC Unfiltered. Appreciate each and every single one of you tuning in, and we'll catch you on the other side.